Here's a question that I get all the time. After 600 episodes of the Loan Officer podcast, where we've had millions of downloads, we have over 33,000 subscribers on YouTube alone, people want to know, hey, Dustin, what are the 5 or 10 biggest lessons you have learned since you started the Loan Officer podcast? And if you're one of those people, or you would like to hear the answer to that question, you're in for a treat. I recently hung out with my friend Dave Savage with Mortgage Coach. Dave was actually interviewing me for some content that he was creating, and I got a hold of Dave's raw footage. We're turning that raw footage into today's podcast episode. This was Dave asking me the lessons I learned and me giving him 10 lessons that I have learned after 600 plus episodes of the Loan Officer podcast. These are life lessons. These are business lessons. You will be entertained and you'll be motivated to make a change. If you're into growth and you want to be a better professional, then I have great news. This episode, 100% is for you. Fair warning, this wasn't originally recorded to be a podcast episode. I just decided this content and that moment was too good and too special to keep from you. So please bear with us a little bit because this will be a recording that originated from a Zoom call. Check this out. They don't teach this shit in school, but they should. Welcome to the Loan Officer Podcast, hosted by me, Dustin Owen, one of the most influential people in the mortgage industry, along with my friends who've lived it, built it, failed at it, fixed it, and scaled it. This is not a show just for mortgage professionals. This is everything I learned because I became a mortgage loan originator. This is the Loan Officer Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, you are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and for the first time ever, via live Zoom call recording, I am going to introduce you or reintroduce you to the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only icon of the mortgage industry, Dave Savage with Mortgage Coach, with one exception. Dave is not with me live in the studio. Dave is actually in his home in Oregon. By the time you're tuned into this, I may be on vacation in Wyoming, but Dave and I recorded this super special, never been seen or heard before content that when we wrapped it up, I begged Dave's team to share it with me so I could share it with you. These are the 10 lessons I have learned after 600 plus episodes of the Loan Officer Podcast. These are life lessons. These are business lessons. You will laugh. You will be motivated to make a change. You will be entertained. Without further ado, this is me and Dave via Zoom from just a few weeks ago. Check this out.
All right. What's up, everybody? I am super pumped about this conversation with D.O., the one and only Dustin Owens. This man has sat in every seat in the bus in the mortgage industry. I mean, he's been a loan officer. He's been a branch manager. He's been a regional leader. He has coached directly and indirectly hundreds of loan officers in person, and then thousands and tens of thousands with his YouTube channel. We always tease back and forth when I introduce him. I'm like, I want to introduce you to the guy with the second best YouTube channel, but it's very subjective at this point. It's like Coke and Pepsi, although I don't really want to compare myself to Coke or Pepsi, but it's like they're both amazing. Some people have a preference. Or maybe it's more like golf clubs. It's like Callaway and TaylorMade. That's a better analogy.
Red wine, white wine.
There you go. Yeah. So this conversation is going to be what I call the 2026 new Loan Officer Playbook. It's a remake. Last time I did this, it was 2001. So we were in the early stages of COVID. Like we were and by the way, we hadn't seen AI yet. We hadn't become as dependent on Zoom as we are today. YouTube channels and creating content for AI isn't even something that we had thought of. So if you're a new loan officer, there's new values, new philosophies, and there's new skills and habits that you need to have that just weren't even a conversation in 2020. So, Dustin, what did I leave off that introduction? Anything you want to add to it before we get into it?
Nah, Dave, I think you hit the nail right on the head. It's important for people to know that I'm a mortgage guy first, right? Like for anyone who's tuning in and they're feeling like they're lost or they're scared, they don't know where to turn, maybe they're broke. Guess what? I was there too. And by the way, so is my friend Dave, maybe a decade before me, but nonetheless, we all get started somewhere. And that somewhere typically tends to be a small place where you're lost, broke, and you're scared. So I've been there, I've been in your shoes. It took me 2 years, but within 2 years, I was personally funding 100 plus units a year. I then lost it all in 2008 and 2009, like so many others did, rebuilt back. And when I rebuilt everything, I first became a top producer. Then I was a top producing branch manager. Just like Dave, you said, I went from branch to regional, regional divisional, and I retired from production in November of 2025. But that was after building a $1 billion division from the ground floor up and running it. And what's really cool is, Dave, I think the things that we're going to talk about today are literally a lot of my quote unquote secrets. And by the way, these are not secrets. I mean, I learned these things from guys like Dave or guys like Tim or guys like Todd or women like Casey. Like I learned all these 20 plus years ago. And it just so happens that they still work today, but they work. And I think it's important for people to know that the two men talking have been in their shoes, right? You've owned your own mortgage company. You started as an originator. Same goes for me. So it's not like hyperbole or it's not myth or theory. It's like, no, like this is coming from real world experience. And I would like to say you're probably number one. I'm somewhere in the top 20, but some of the most connected people in this industry. So if we don't have a me story, Dave Savage and I have a lot of we stories, and we's are stories of our friends, whether it's a Shayla or a Jeremy or a Shant, right? Like these are our friends in the industry that when we get behind closed doors, we talk openly and we don't mind sharing some of their stories if it means that you all get to grow either as leaders or as originators. So, that would be my caveat or my 2 cents, Dave, as we get started.
All right, let's get into it.
Y'all, something big is happening at Lower Mortgage. And if you're paying attention to this industry, you've probably noticed. In just the last month alone, Lower has added some serious horsepower. We're talking top producers representing over $350 million in volume. These aren't rookies kicking tires. These are heavy hitters who've done their homework and made the move. That should tell you something. On top of that, Lower just acquired Movoto, a top 5 real estate portal with over 150 visitors just last year. Before that, they brought in Neat Labs and now they're launching Lower OS, a next-gen mortgage platform that's cutting loan delivery times down to 10 days. This isn't a company standing still. Lower doubled their volume last year and they're projecting another 40 to 50% growth this year. The best in the business are taking notice and they're voting with their feet. Here's the reality. The companies that are going to win in this market are the ones investing in technology, building real infrastructure, and competing at scale. Lower is doing all of that. They're going head to head with the Rockets of the world, and they're built for originators, not against them. If you're a producer who wants to be a part of something that's actually going somewhere, not just surviving, but growing, this is the moment. Lower Mortgage, the momentum is real.
So literally while I'm talking, I'm going to have the playbook I did in 2021 up just so I follow a similar framework. And it was called How to Fast Track Your Success as a New Loan Officer. By the way, nothing's changed. Like that's still the goal.
Yeah.
Now, I do think what has changed is that how a loan officer would fast track their success is different because there is AI now. Like we can ask AI some questions, whether it's to get trained or, the ability to go from zero to like, I have a basic level of understanding has accelerated. And then also if I get stuck, I have a borrower call me while I'm talking to them, I could be putting it into AI and getting answers to my questions. But with that said, how much faster can a loan officer fast track, in your opinion? And then what are just some tips you have for new loan officers? We'll get to people that have been in the business for 6 months, a year. And by the way, this will be valuable if you've been doing this 20 years and you've been repeating the same year 20 times and you're still struggling. This is going to be valuable for you too. Maybe not for the top producer, but what are your thoughts on that? How fast can we get up to speed and how should we be using AI?
Okay, well, right now, I'm using AI specifically if I'm a younger originator or I'm a newer originator, or quite honestly, Dave, let's call it like we see it. If you're not funding 20 to 30 units per year, right? 2025, 2026, like that's the bare minimum to be considered a full-time professional. Now, if you
By
talk
the
to me,
way, I think it's 36.
well, I agree. It's 36 to 40 to 46. It's about
Yeah,
three and a half units per
per
year.
month, 3 units per
But
month,
per month, yeah. But I like to be nice because the past couple of years haven't been like the best market. So I try to be a little bit forgiving. But yes, you and I both agree that minimum 3 units per month is and should be our standard for being full-time and professional. But nonetheless,
and sustainable. See, the reason I say it is it's got to be sustainable. And if you're not doing that, you don't necessarily have a sustainable career.
if
Uh,
you're not doing that, you can't get good. You don't get
yeah,
enough
yeah.
bats at
And you're
bats.
not necessarily delivering this awesome experience. You know what you're doing. So
Yeah.
in the playbook, it's going to be 36 minimum. Uh,
Beautiful. High five to that, right? I'm good. I'm good with that. So there's two parts to your career, right? One part, you got to be a sufficient technician, blocking and tackling. But second part, and in my experience, the most important part, you have to be a great networker. You have to be great at devising a marketing strategy and following it. You have to be good at sales, good at storytelling. You have to be your local community expert. You have to become that advisor. So currently, I would tell someone who's coming to me for help, and even though I have personally funded thousands of loans and my divisions have done probably 10x that, I will tell you, if you don't speak my language, I don't know if I can help you, right? So if you don't speak DTI, LTV, AUS, residual income on a VA loan, how to calculate MI, like I need you to figure that out outside of us really doing a whole lot together. However, AI's got your back there. I mean, I used to have to, Dave, if you reached out to me and you're a real estate agent, you asked me a question and I didn't know the answer, I had to be quick on my feet and say, Dave, the guidelines on that recently have changed. Let me do this. I'm going to hang up with you, go do some research, read some old emails, and get back to you. That was my way of saying I have no freaking idea. I've only been licensed for 6 months. I've only closed 3 loans. I'm freaking out. Give me a second, right? Today, I could say something similar. Oh, you know what? The guidelines on that recently changed. Let me put you on hold and let me give you that answer. At which point, I go to my favorite AI resource. I type in my question, I get the response, I regurgitate, and then I move forward. So AI is being used a lot on that aspect. AI is also being done in order to expedite my marketing communication, right? Whether I'm trying to make a social media post, whether I'm trying to craft the right email, trying to respond to somebody, come up with a more polished, more proven script. We're starting to leverage AI so that we can do those things a lot quicker. And then we're trusting our companies behind the scenes to be able to help us facilitate and take a transaction from A to Z smoothly, timely, more efficiently by utilizing these technologies. I think I think we're still a couple years away from all of us having a true personal assistant who thinks like us, who speaks like us, and can respond and act as if they were us. But I think that is coming. So step one for me is you have to learn how to sell and market. Right? It doesn't matter how well you know the loan programs, the products, the rates. If you don't have a lead, you don't have any business. So I coach and teach. It's your job to get a lead. That's where I would start.
all right. So by the way, I love that. I agree with that. My mentor who brought me to the mortgage, Mel Samick, did not teach me guidelines in the first 30 days. He gave me the yellow pages in a script and said, start with C's and call all the CPAs and go, hi, my name's Dave Savage with Excalibur Mortgage. We specialize in helping CPAs and their clients with their real estate financing needs. Do you ever have clients ask you about real estate financing? And if they say yes, and they'd ask me a question, Mel,
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
you know, and
But yeah, if you need guidelines, can I give them 3 quick, easy
well, I was,
resources? I'm gonna give
yes,
4.
yes,
I'm gonna give
yes.
4. I start with free, and then we go to paid, but typically paid's probably the best. So free resources at your disposal. Your MI companies, MGIC, National MI, Radian, Essent, Arch MI, right? MI companies are great resources for technical training. Your wholesale outlets, UWM is one of the biggest educators for newly licensed originators, right? And I'm sure other wholesale outlets, whether it's a Freedom or a Caliber, maybe they too have those
New
types of
Reds, new
resources.
Reds, new Reds.
Yep, the new res. Yeah, I said Caliber. I'm dating myself.
Rocket,
Yeah, yep, yeah. Just throw them in there. I know UWM does it probably at the highest level. The Mortgage Bankers Association has School of Loan Origination, Solo they call it, and then our friend Casey at Zenix, she has Ground School. I mean, do you know how many ground schools I've personally purchased over the years? My guess, at least 50, if not more, right? And through the podcast, I bet I've helped sell hundreds because for me, if I'm bringing someone into the industry and they do not know how to block and tackle and they do not speak my language, I can't slow down to teach them how to speak my language, but I can third party it. And Casey and her product Ground School has always, to me, had a best in class product to reference.
yeah.
Once you're
By the
learning,
way, I do want to throw in mortgage
yeah.
currency as a
Oh,
premium solution. There's a Mortgage Hive Facebook group. I also know there's been some other, call it new groups that focus on new loan officers. So, just a number of folks. And I'm sure by the time I post this, I'll have what I consider to be trusted. Here's the free, here's the premium. And ZenX Ground School will absolutely be the gold standard when it comes to the premium new loan officer training. But at the bottom of this playbook, like we will have it. And if you're
perfect.
watching this in YouTube right now, there'll be some show notes down below. There'll be one master link that will be brought to you by Housing Link, housing.link. Thank you, Scott Nicholson. And within that, we'll have all the sublinks. So everything that Dustin called out, all these sublinks. So you've got this video, you've got his YouTube channel, which I am going to ask him at some point. If there was one video in your channel to watch, what would it be? I'm going to do the same thing, and we'll have those down below too, and probably have a few more. Anyways, keep going, bro.
Cool. No, so I think once we establish what our job is to get a lead, we now have to start putting on our marketing hat, our networking hat. So step one for me, and I do have a boot camp that I teach this through. I look at someone's time, I look at where they're spending their time, and we talk about creating the right habits. So step one for anybody launching their own business is I need you to get up every morning, put on your uniform and go to work. And when you're at work, I need you to work. So that starts with first tracking your time, because just by tracking it, you're going to be a little bit more cognizant, a little bit more aware, which means you're a little bit more intentional with how you spend your time. But then by tracking your time for 30 days, we look for areas of improvement. You may be at work 9 hours a day, but you're only putting in 2 or 3 hours of meaningful work. So we want to focus on where are you spending your time? Are you dedicating enough time? And then more importantly, are you doing the right thing? So that is step one for me. And a lot of that revolves around things I learned by reading the book Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Love that.
Step two, y'all, you need leads. If it's your job to get a lead, I need you out generating relationships with referral sources. You heard Dave give his script from 30 years ago calling CPAs. You can call financial advisors, you can call builders, you can call realtors. Those are the men and women and the professionals that give us the highest probability to refer us consistent, high quality leads. And that's what we're looking for, highest probability. And we're also looking for high conversion leads. I'm not saying you couldn't get a lead elsewhere. Your circle of influence is a great place to go. Your friends, family, your neighbors. Heck, you can even go to a funeral director, and they could actually be a pretty decent lead source for you, and particularly a realtor. but we look at doing like building relationships with realtors. And when you understand it's a numbers game, I think that's when it all comes to you in full clarity. I'm not asking you to call a dozen realtors and meet with a handful. I would ask you to have a list of 200. I would have you calling and texting and emailing. It takes 7 attempts to make a sale. In this case, our sale is an appointment. I need you calling, texting, and emailing these people up to 7 times just to land an appointment. Understanding that if you get 60 people to meet with you, that's 60 to meet with you over, let's say, the course of 12 weeks or roughly 60 business days, which is one person a day, you're going to end up with about 8 to 12 that they're full time and you're full time. They like you and you like them, and they actually have business to refer you. Think about that. 12. You had to make 1,000 outbound contacts to get 60 people to meet with you just to find 12. But those 12 are going to be worth 20 transactions. Those 12 are going to be worth almost $100,000 in commission. Those 12 end up becoming your bedrock. Those 12 are your foundation. But if you don't understand that it's a numbers game, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. So we talk a lot about that. And I also remind I remind the people, it's a marathon and not a sprint. It takes you 2 years, regardless if you're in year 20 for the first time. I'm sorry, what did you say? Year 1 for the 20th time, or you're newly licensed and you're in month 7. Please just remind yourself that once you get intentional with your time and intentional with your activity, I'm going to tell you it takes 2 years to get to where you're trying to go, but you can accomplish these steps in about 16 weeks.
Agreed. So I'm going to share a playbook from a while ago. Some of it, what I'm going to share is new. Some of it is time tested. And I echo what Dustin said in terms of, build your list of who you would invite to your wedding. And I think it was an interview I did with Dave Gallegos, who's a branch manager, owner of a company that brings in a lot of new LOs. And he said, I'll let someone start with 150 people that they know, like, and trust, that they think know, like, and trust him. But in the first 30 days, I want to get that list to 300. And so part of like coming to him is getting this, start with a list of 300. And then this is something that I've taught for years. I'd love to know your opinion on it. I want you to, even before you call a realtor, I want you to do what I'm going to tell you to do is, first of all, you should know whether that person rents or owns. If you know them, know, like, and trust, you should know that. And start with your renters, because those people they know less about a mortgage than anyone. And by the time you've talked to a couple of them, you're going to know more than all of them. So part of being a successful loan officer is gaining knowledge and gaining confidence to build skills and to build habits. And so here's the script for your renters. First of all, they know and like and trust you. So, hey, Dustin, I need your help.
Yeah, what's up, Dave?
So by the way, I need your help.
Yeah.
I just started the mortgage business. I'm a new loan officer. And one of the things I need to get really good at is having a conversation with someone about renting versus owning. I'm not going to put any pressure on you. I'm not here to sell you anything, but I need to do what's called like a rent versus own analysis so that you know more about owning a home, and you've got kind of a playbook and you understand the economics of owning versus renting. Do you mind if we just spend 5-10 minutes and I put one of these rent versus own analysis together? You got 5 or 10 minutes?
Of course I do. Yeah, for you, I
So by
do.
the way, guys, you do a mortgage coach rent versus own analysis. 2 things happen. One, you get good at a skill that will serve you for the rest of your career. 2, you're having that conversation. I don't know what the number is. I don't know whether it's like your first one's going to turn into a hot lead or it's going to be your 5th. It's not going to be your 10th or 20th. I mean, you're going to turn some of those into opportunities, and you're going to get really skilled at having that first time homebuyer conversation. One more note, and then I want to get your thoughts on this. I also want you to go through this first home IQ quiz. It's free. It's 20 questions. By the way, now in 2026, it probably started with a text, like, hey, bro, when do you got 5 minutes for me? Like, there was a time when it started with a call or an email, it probably starts with a text,
Mm-hmm.
maybe then an email that turns into a call or a Zoom session.
TLOP Unite is not your typical mortgage event. This is the first ever TLOP Cruise experience built exclusively for originators. And for 4 days, it's not about the speakers, it's about you. We're talking breakout strategy sessions, real conversations, curated events, and uninterrupted access to a community that helps you grow. If you're serious about taking your career to the next level, this is where you need to be. Space is limited and the price is right. So click the link now and learn more.
Code read that. Any thoughts on that? Anything you want to add or subtract?
Well, I absolutely love the word help, right? Like asking someone that already cares for you if you can help them, letting them know that you're currently taking on new clients, even using phrases like, can I count on you? Hey, Dave, can I count on you to give me a little bit of help? My business is currently in growth mode. You probably don't even know this, but I recently launched a new career and I'm now helping people purchase real estate and finance the homes that they already own, right? Like, I love that. I love that you're using Mortgage Coach. Obviously, we talk about that a lot on the Loan Officer podcast. And I like how you started with renters. I probably wouldn't have gone there. So consider that swiped and adapted. I'm now going to start incorporating that into how we coach some of our students. But I tell them, when you're making that list of your top 200 realtors that you're going to be targeting, the best place to get it from is from your top 100 VIPs. And those VIPs are the same circle of influence. So you're calling, asking for help. Help is, you might not know this, but my clients are realtors and builders and financial advisors. Out of curiosity, like, who do you know? Right. And then you can hit them up with either, if you know they rent, hey, my boss has tasked me or assigned me with doing 100 of these by the end of next month. Would you mind if we spent 5 minutes so I could do that with you? And if they already own the home, you're not going to do a rent analysis with them. But what you can do is annual mortgage review, right? An annual mortgage review. And I tell people, look, I don't have to pull your credit. I'm not going to talk to you about your income. All I want to do is talk to you about what your home is currently worth. I want to talk to you about whether or not your current home loan solution is the best home loan solution based on where you are in your life and where the market is. Right. And this is a great way for you to gain experience. It's also a great way for you to kind of perform for your friends, family, ex-coworkers, and neighbors, what you do for a living. But then more importantly, I want you calling those people and getting a referral or a name to a realtor, a builder, a financial advisor, because when you start making those calls and those text messages to these strangers, we want them to be less cold, and we do so by leveraging the triangle of trust. So when we're just getting started, that would be, step one was the time tracking and the habit formation. Step two is you got to start reaching out to your circle of influence / making your list of your top 200 targets, and then remembering, but by the way, it's a numbers game. That means I'm going to get way more people who ghost me, way more people who tell me no than I do that get me to tell me yes. And even the ones who tell me yes, I'm only going to have a quarter of those meetings actually go well. That means 3/4 of them didn't necessarily go the way that I anticipated them to go.
Loved it. So I'm going to do one more script, and then let's just both kind of go into prescription mode. We're like, hey, what are your top videos? What are your 3 books that everyone needs to read? So be ready for that. So one more script. By the way, don't do this script until you've talked to, if not all your renters, enough renters that you really have elevated your confidence and you have a basic competence at the rep versus owner analysis. And now we're going to start calling homeowners. And the script's really similar. I need your help. I'm a new loan officer. I need to practice my move up analysis. Right now, over 50% of people have mortgages at less than 4%, 2%, 3%. Right now, America has more equity than they've ever had. And they just don't know, like, when should I move up? Should I move up? So I need to practice this. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions and practice on you? Who's going to say no? No one's going to say no. And by the way, what are you going to do? You're going to do a mortgage coach, move up analysis. Column A is here's your current loan. Column B is whatever their move up dream is. By the way, you may be talking to someone who has a move down dream. but it's going to be like, what's the next opportunity for you? Guys, by the way, you do that, you're going to get some leads, you're going to get some realtors. Now, these group of people, we know that they know realtors. So now, after you've delivered this great experience and they dig it, you're going to go, how was, how was the last realtor that you worked with? Or, do you have a favorite realtor? And you know what? Some people won't. They'll start bashing realtors. And some people will just be like, oh my God, I have such and such. And then you're going to go, it would be huge if you would do an email introduction between me and that person. So guys, when you get to this point, you're going to, one, get more leads. And then two, you're going to be getting some warm handoffs from people that know you, like you, and trust you. And you're going to get referred to realtors. Code red that. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I love the fact that you got into scripting because like my true step 3, because I do have a 12-step process that I've been using for the past decade to turn low producers into top producers, turn no producers into their company's next top producer. And like my next step, and you don't even know this, Dave, but it's scripting. Like we spend a whole entire hour
Oh,
on,
by the
it's
way, I
not,
do know this. I do know
oh,
that.
you do? Okay.
Yeah, you
I
told
didn't know
me.
if you knew my steps in order, right? In
No, I probably
order
don't know
of,
all your steps in order,
yeah.
but I knew that.
So like you and I didn't rehearse that Dave's going to get into scripting. Now Dustin's going to talk about scripting, but literally it is step 3 in the process because many of us know what to do. We just don't know how to do it or why it's important. And words matter. I mean, learning how to ask a question where the person gives you the answer is no and knows the answer that you want, right? That's a little bit of NLP, but like stuff like that matters. So we have to learn, what do I say when I'm reaching out to my circle of influence? What do I say when I call that realtor for the first time? What do I say when I'm in the meeting? What do I say in order to make sure I walk away with at least 2 referrals? What do I say a week or 2 later when I'm looking to follow up? But the one thing that we haven't shared with the group that I think is an amazing hack and it works like crazy, when you're trying to find warm introductions to real estate agents, home builders, financial advisors, go to that thing called Facebook and just do a post. Question for you all. If you were to buy or sell a house this year, who would your go-to realtor be? And then just watch your comments. Just go bing, 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 bing,
Love
bing.
that.
Now,
Great
all of a
script.
sudden, you have all of these referrals. Those calls are no longer going to be cold. Yes, you're calling a stranger, but you're calling a stranger and you're dropping the name of the person who just tagged them on Facebook and you're introducing yourself as a lender. And if you don't know this already, let me just share with you. Our jobs as lenders is to help realtors win, period. We help realtors win. Now, how do you help a realtor win? Most cases by helping them sell more homes and make more money. Now, how you help them sell more homes and make more money, there's probably a dozen different ways, and it's going to vary from market to market, realtor to realtor. But just conceptually, your products and your pricing isn't what they're interested in. They're interested in how you can help them win. We tend to help most realtors win by helping them sell homes and make money. Now, using products like Mortgage Coach helps them look good. If they look good, then their client is going to be more willing to refer them. Using products like Mortgage Coach is going to help them win more offers. They win more offers. That means they convert leads at a higher percentage. If they convert leads at a higher percentage, then you help them sell more homes and make more money, right? So, but ultimately, and Dave, I bring this up because I get the question all the time. We're like, hey, DO, like I'm going to call these agents, but like, what do I say? I'm like, as little as possible. Get the meeting. Let them know that you're a lender. Let them know that you know that they're a realtor, and make sure you acknowledge the fact that your job is to help realtors win. And you can't help them win if you don't know them. And then when you're on the meeting, they're like, well, what do I say then? I'm like, as little as possible. Ask good questions. Take good notes. Be a great listener. And then from there, through follow-up, you will end up building a relationship. That relationship will end up being something where they like you and trust you. Now you're getting referrals. But that's you and I could probably do a 3-hour call on that. Plus, I know you have absolute studs that come on, guys like Jeremy Forcier who crush it in scripting. So we'll maybe leave some of those master classes for them.
Yeah, no, you and I, have so much content. So let's be ready to give them a couple book recommendations. There'll be a whole list of my book recommendations for top loan officers. I'm sure Dustin will add to that. I'm going to share a couple mortgage coaches. One thing I do want to make sure it doesn't get missed in here, because in order to be a loan officer that can help a realtor win, because winning doesn't mean just you pre-approve someone, you close it on time, you keep your promises, and you get good rates. To really help a borrower win, you need to help them get a buyer from, I kind of like this house and I'm going to buy it, but I need to buy this house. I want to buy this house. So you need to be really, really good at showing people how to achieve home ownership, how to build wealth with real estate faster, and how to achieve financial freedom faster. And if you're talking to a consumer that has kids, and how to help their kids achieve home ownership faster. So I just want to make sure that you don't miss that. That's why I always start with renters. That's going to be the easiest call to call. It's going to have the least amount of tension. They're going to know less than you, and then work into them. And then if you follow my roadmap and you have dozens of conversations with renters, you have dozens of move up, move down buyers, you're now going to be in a position, by the way, to be valuable than most loan officers, because most loan officers are transaction coordinators. They know how to take an app. They know the lingo. They know how to manage the problems within the loan manufacturing process, but they don't know how to help consumers build wealth with real estate faster. They don't know how to help consumers achieve financial freedom with real estate. They don't know a lot of things that I just said. So Dustin, if you want to add any comments to that, go for it. But what are the top? You also mentioned a premium program you had, but so mention that, and then also mention some of the top videos of yours they should watch.
Well, thank you. The shameless plug is this. There's one thing that I think I do better than most in our space, and that's getting people from 0 to 5 loans a month, or from 2 loans a month to 10 loans a month, right? And it's because it's how I built something from 40 million a month to 40 million a year to 40 million a month to originally $1 billion. And I've helped create all these top producers. So I started offering it to the industry. And if people want to go through this boot camp, I offer it to individuals. I also offer it to entire organizations. But I tell people it's only if you're full-time, professional, in growth mode, and if you're not yet funding 3 loans a month, right? This is for you, but you got to be able to check all 4 boxes. We call it launch, and it is a reading assignments. We have homework assignments. There's structured coursework. Think about going into a college course for a whole entire semester, and that's what it is. And people can find out more information by reaching out to me directly. My email address is so easy. It's do@tloponline.com, tloponline.com. Our website, tloponline.com. It's all the information that you need there for that boot camp. And I'm excited that up until recently, I wasn't really offering this at scale. It was only offered if you worked for me internally. Now I get to bring it to the entire mortgage industry, where my goal is to shape hundreds of originators who make up the future of our industry by graduating them through this boot camp. It also produces a crazy ROI. I won't get into that, but if any divisional wants to talk to me.
Just ballpark
Oh,
cost.
cost? If you're an individual and you're coming into a small group of 10, the 16-week course is right under $4,000 for 16 weeks. If you're enterprise level and you can put 30 or 40 LOs in it at a time, we need to talk, because I can get that price per seat cut in half for you. But I need to do it for an entire organization, and I need at least 30, but no more than 40 to participate. And I'll be honest, Dave, not many organizations have enough originators that check all 4 boxes, right? But it's very easy for people to come in and say, hey, when's your next boot camp? We typically launch a new one every 4 to 6 weeks. So they get on the reservation list. We make sure that they're eligible, that they meet the requirements, and then we put them in and we start going. So you're asking me recommendations for books. I got 3. It's real simple. Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you're a part of my launch boot camp, that will be your reading assignment. Second book, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
Mm.
Third book, Extreme Ownership by Jocko.
Ooh.
So those three books would be my 1, 2, and 3. If you wanted a bonus book, if you're later in your career, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. And if you love Nike as much as I do, and you love being an entrepreneur as much as I do, you got to read Shoe Dog.
Oh my God, well, I just noticed Shoe Dog's not on my list, but it's one of my all-time favorite books. So I've actually, in the 2021 playbook, I've got 13 books. I'm not going to read them all. We both had Extreme Ownership. I did not have the other two, although I've read both of them and I'm going to get them both. My first three books, one of the first one's going to surprise you. And because I've been in sales my whole life, I have personal friends that have kids get in sales, and they always like, Dave, what book should you read? And you would never guess my first book. It's The Four Agreements, which is not a sales book. Have you ever read The Four Agreements?
No, I don't think I do.
Oh, bro. Both Jeremy Forsey and I read it, yearly.
Okay.
And it's an emotional IQ book, like of the four agreements, one of the agreements is don't make any assumptions. One of the agreements is don't take anything personally. One of the agreements is be impeccable with your word. And the fourth agreement is do your best. And it's just like, this is a book, if you want to be a healthy, happy, successful human being, it's a great book to read. And I listen to the audiobook annually. So that's number one for me. Number two is my all-time favorite sales book, which is The Challenger Sale. Tailor, teach, control. Like, the best salespeople ask great questions so they can tailor. They teach things like, oh, I never thought of it that way. And they control, they lead. And then that's all wrapped in constructive tension. So it's a great framework for a great salesperson. And then number three, Ode to Todd Duncan, High Trust Selling. It is a sales book that has mortgage in its fabric. I love the idea of extreme ownership. I mean, I might mix this up. I'm still going to go with The Four Agreements as number one, but I might add Jocko's Extreme Ownership as number two. Okay, so we gave him some books, and you've added to my list. Thank you for that.
And you added to my list. Like, I have 2 books now I need to go read.
Yeah. If you haven't read Challenger Sale or The Four Agreements. Now, by the way, one disclosure for The Four Agreements, I had been referred it like several times before I finally read it. And I had tried to read it a couple times, but the first, 15 minutes of the audiobook was pretty woo-woo, and I was just like, okay, I don't have time for this woo-woo stuff. So you do have to get through, or at least for me, I had to get through that first chapter just based off who referred it to me until it was like, okay, this is like the magic key to happiness and success. Okay, what are some of your top YouTube videos? Like, if I was going to listen to one and I'm new, what would it be? Give me a 2 and 3.
God, it's so hard. Okay, I can answer the question in under 60 seconds, but I don't know if I can give you one. If you're on YouTube, I have a whole series called Coach's Corner and Mortgage School that I would tell you, if you're new, get lost there. And they are their own playlist. So they're pretty easy to find. But if I'm talking podcast episodes, because most people know me as the podcast guy, unless you live in Central Florida, then you probably know me as like the mortgage top producer. But most people today know me as the podcast guy. So if you're tuning into the Loan Officer podcast, a oldie but a goodie is going to be episode 94, which is actually called Loan Officer Training. If you want something more recent, I would say episode 457, which is do this every day to win as a loan officer. So 94 is going to take you back OG. And then when you get into episode 457, and it's 457, do this every day to win as a loan officer, that at least is going to get you into the 2025 realm of our content.
If you're a licensed originator who's closing loans, but you're not consistent, this is for you. If you're brand new or just looking for motivation, trust me, this is not for you. Most LOs don't need more information. They need structure. They need proven processes and somebody to hold them accountable. T-Lob's Originator Coaching gives you weekly live coaching, scripts top producers actually use, and step-by-step business systems you can implement immediately. Not someday, we're talking day one. You're not watching videos alone. You're executing in real time with other originators who take this seriously. Right now, you can try it free for 2 weeks. That's 2 full weeks for free. You'll sit in on live coaching calls. You'll get access to the frameworks and see exactly how top producers run their business. If it creates clarity, if it creates momentum, or even if it puts wins on the board, you keep going. If it doesn't, no worries, you can cancel. No pressure at all. Click the link, start the 2-week trial, and finally, build this like a business, not a side hustle.
Love it. Love it. Well, I've created a playlist for new loan officers. I'm going to re-update that. I'm going to recreate what I call mortgage IQ. And I have, let me see how many, Dustin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually have 6 of your video clips.
Oh, high five. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. In this, call it mortgage IQ list. You know, I did an interview. It was the first time I've interviewed Shayla Gifford many a times now.
Love her. She's amazing.
Shayla, yeah, it was called
what
the Shayla
a powerhouse.
Gifford. Oh yeah. It was called the Shayla Gifford Perfect Pre-Approval Experience. And it's just the bomb. Like it just, you'll get energy, you'll get strategy, you'll get to see truly a Hall of Fame mortgage professional execute. Check it out. There's an 18-minute thing that she did from the Modern Mortgage Summit that she actually gave the perfect pre-approval experience, called the Modern Pre-Approval Experience. So check those out. And again, there'll be a whole list. Like if you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a list down below, a link with multiple links in it. Also, I'm going to make this one of my weekly LinkedIn newsletters. I have a LinkedIn newsletter called Modern Mortgage Leadership. If you're not subscribing, subscribe. And every Tuesday at 8 o'clock Pacific, I release a new newsletter every week. Just one a week, every week. I time it so it hits at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. That's an hour before my Tuesday sales meeting. Every Tuesday at 9 o'clock Pacific, I am interviewing someone badass. I've been doing this for over 15 years. If you are not subscribed to the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, and you're new, you're crazy.
Do it.
If you're not,
it's a free resource.
It's a free resource. And by the way, and if you're not subscribed to T-Lot, crazy. Subscribe to both of these so that when new content hits, watch it. And then figure out what your jam is, and the mortgage industry, there are people in this business that make minimum wage, and there are people in this business that get paid like NFL top of the line running backs, not quarterbacks. The quarterbacks have quite a little pay jump, but you can make just an incredible living in this industry. I hope you make it. And all I know is that between Dustin and I, the advice we've given, the content we create, Mortgage Coach, the tool we have, if you do not become a mortgage coach and you're somewhere, do you need it your first day in the business? Maybe not. Do you need it by your 30th day in the business? Absolutely. I've had so many loan officers who just said the confidence it gave me, it taught me how to be a mortgage strategist, not just a mortgage transaction coordinator. So make sure you're a mortgage coach.
Look, mortgage coach is a difference maker. It's a difference between a legit top end professional and an order taker, just like you said earlier. And it's also an all or nothing. You either run your business doing TCAs or you don't. But when you study the best of the best, which that's what I get to do through the podcast, the best of the best leverage Mortgage Coach. They just do. It makes it about the advice, not about the particular rate or the fees. And all of a sudden your conversations sound different. You let your realtors hear you and see you giving TCAs. Now all of a sudden they refer you better. They refer you more consistent. You can even use TCAs as a reason for realtors to meet with you when you say things like, I'd love to show you why realtors love to refer me because I take an approach unlike any other lender in this market. And I take this approach in order to help you do X, Y, and Z, which is generate more leads, convert more leads, sell more homes, help more families, et cetera. So I can't advocate enough on behalf of Mortgage Coach. You mentioned newsletters. Yeah, newsletters for loan officers is a fantastic way to actually stay in contact with people. But I have a newsletter that I send out every Thursday. We're over at TLOP, we say if it's free, it's for me. So I give away so much for free, understanding that the universe will pay it back to me. I trust they will. And there's enough people that come in for free and they get everything they need. There's others who come in for free and they want more. And when they want more, that's when we introduce them to our launch bootcamp or we introduce them to our coaching community. I have a community where I coach originators at all levels. I'm talking $100 million producers all the way down to newly licensed LOs. And what I love about this community, it's the number one value in all of coaching. I mean, it's the number one value for the cost and what people get. You're not getting it any better and for a less of an investment than what we offer it. And a lot of that's because it's how I live my life, but it's also because I've had an amazing career. I've made my money. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm an entrepreneur and I still want to continue to run profitable entities, but I care more about shaping the future of the mortgage industry. So there's two ways, actually three ways you can learn for free. Listen to the podcast. It's called The Loan Officer Podcast. It's found anywhere that you look for podcasts, including YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because yes, the podcast is on there, but so are 400 other training videos and coaching videos that are on top of the podcast. And then the last one, if you like free, you sign up for my newsletter and you can do so on my website, TLOP online, tloponline.com. Click the little newsletter button, fill out your information. Here's what happens. Not only do you get my weekly sales tips, market updates, and industry news, but you also get invited to one free masterclass a month just by receiving the newsletter. The newsletter takes you less than 5 minutes to read. And my goal for you all is that it's worth your time. And if it's not, I only wasted 3 or 4 minutes. But I promise you it's not. Those are 4 different ways that you can learn for free. And then obviously, if you ever wanted more, we're one of probably half a dozen really good coaching companies and coaching programs out there. I'd be honored if you looked our way and figured out if we were what you were looking for.
I love it, man. Well, brother, I am grateful for our friendship. I am grateful for the impact that you make in the industry. I'm grateful for you and the role you play with First Home IQ, which I did mention it early on in terms of the quiz. But if you are not getting the free newsletter for First Home IQ, it's a nonprofit dedicated to financial literacy for first-time home buyers. Like, check it out. Get involved. There's lots of free educational resources there. Brother, I think we rocked.
We're out of time.
I am grateful for you and for anyone watching this. Again, follow his channel, follow our channel. This is a wrap. Take care,
Dave,
y'all.
thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed doing it with Dave. I'm grateful for the partnership and the relationship that I have with Trust Engine, a mortgage coach, and First Home IQ, and absolutely adore the friendship that I've been able to develop with Dave over the past 10 plus years. Do yourself a favor. If this type of content is the type of content that you think your organization would want more of, please know that this is what I do full time. I'm a full-time coach, consultant, and keynote speaker. I make myself available to organizations, whether you're a trade organization, a conference, or you're a private mortgage company looking to have a great speaker or moderator for your next big sales event. Reach out to me. I would love to discuss how I can participate in your company's future growth. If you're a loan originator and you're looking for coaching, then you're in luck. Not only do we have the number one value in business coaching and sales training, but we're giving away 2 weeks for free to anybody that's interested. All you have to do is go to our website. That's tloponline.com. That's TLOPonline.com. Click coaching and you can sign up for your 14-day free trial. And if you are into sales events as much as I'm into sales events, you love to network and mastermind and get away from your home office for a bit to be around other mortgage professionals to share best practices, well, I had the event for you. It's called TLOP Unite Caribbean Takeover. It's September 14th through 18th. It's a freaking cruise, y'all. It's super affordable. It'll be by far the coolest mortgage sales event ever done in the mortgage industry, and this is your personal invite. All that information can also be found on that same website, tloponline.com. Just click Unite. It'll take you to the page. You can see the information, and you can reserve your cabin now. Finally, if you have questions, reach out. I'm super accessible on LinkedIn. First name Dustin, last name Owen. Hit me up. I will be more than happy to spend 5-10 minutes with you, answer your questions, get you pointed in the right direction. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you click that subscribe button. Feel free to load up the comment section. And if you're on Spotify or Apple, give us a 5-star review. That's how we have other people know that this content doesn't suck and they too should tune in. I'm Dustin Owen. He was Dave Savage. You have just tuned into the Loan Officer Podcast. That's all the time I have for you today. But I do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.